Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now it's been a while with the holidays and work and everything. Time has gotten away from me for a bit, but glad to have you back. Today we're going to finish up the installation of the solar panel. So based off the last video, we installed the panel and ran all the wiring in the engine compartment into the battery. Today we're going to run the auxiliary power from that MPPT unit all the way back into the cargo area so that I can have some power back here to charge my battery pack, refrigerator, whatever. Let's walk you through. I'm gonna walk you through some the equipment that I purchased for this project, the tools necessary, and also wanted to show a quick modification I did to the front solar panel that I think might be worthwhile that I did after the last video. So I want to catch you guys up. So with that, I'm going to bring you guys in closer and you can see the tools and the equipment involved with this installation. So for this installation, it's pretty straightforward. From Amazon, I purchased this connector here this will be what will be exposed on the side panel. It's got your normal solar SAE connection. There is an inline fuse, so I'll be installing a 15 amp fuse on that. And then I got this, I think it's a 10-foot extension. So this will connect to this and then go make its way all the way up into the engine bay to connect into the controller unit. Tools necessary. There's a lot of plastic bits and pieces that are going to need to be popped off. So I got my plastic pry tools. This tray needs to come up first. And I believe these anchor points are 10 millimeters. So I have my wrench and 10 millimeter socket. To drill the hole into the side panel to run this through, kind of figured and measured a little bit, and it looks like it's going to be a 7/8 bit to make that hole to get this through without making it too big. For this needs to screw into the side of the panel, so you don't want to make the hole too big. And then if you have a wire snake, use this to run the wire from the passenger compartment through the firewall into the engine bay, going through the clutch cylinder rubber boot. So that's going to be it for this installation. I'm going to stick you around front and show you real quick what I did to the solar panel after our last video, and then we'll start taking everything apart in the Bronco. So I don't know how easy this comes through on video, but I did run a small bead of clear silicone along the front of where the panel meets the hood. The reason why I did that is because if you know the Bronco hood, it kind of slopes down, and I wanted to make sure that dirt and water did not get underneath the solar panel and start to bubble up the front of the adhesion to the hood. So I just ran a quick little bead of silicone across there. It seems to be holding up pretty well. We had a couple big rainstorms, and I didn't notice any water getting underneath. Seems to be doing the job. So that's the one little modification I did from the last video install. So now now I got you guys all up to date. Let's go work on running that line to the front. All right, so first part is going to be removing this bottom panel here. First, you're going to take out the 4 cargo anchor areas, and each of these has a plastic cover on it. So there's a little tab on the front. You just basically push in on this tab and lift up, and then the plastic piece comes up, and there's 2, I think, of 10 millimeter bolts on each one. So let's remove all of these. And you kind of have to move it around the anchor point here. So you have to kind of loosen it and then lower the anchor point and then kind of pull out the back because they're kind of tabbed in here on the back. Looks like that one already broke. So just be careful. Don't break yours like I just did. All right, so of the 4, I only broke 1 tab on one of them, so I guess not too shabby. right, now we're going to, I think it's 10 millimeter. Yep, 10 millimeter. We have 246 bolts that we need to remove. All right, now that those are all removed, we'll put all these aside. And now this whole panel should come up. Oops. Okay. It's a little cumbersome. All right, now that I have this open, you know what, might as well give it a little clean. It got some sand in there from one of our off-roading adventures. So I'm going to clean this up a bit, and then I'll bring you guys back for the removal of this side panel and all the little pieces involved with that. All right, now that we got the interior cleaned up a bit, first thing you want to do is a little plastic trim piece that goes behind the roll bar that connects to the side panel you want to take off. So we're going to have to get underneath of that and kind of pop that off. And then you have to kind of snake it around this roll bar to get it out. It's not the easiest, but just take your time. There you go. So this is the piece here. And now that should free up this whole side panel just to pop that off. But I think I'm going to have to lower the rear seat first. In order to do that, I got to get the Bronco tool bag out from underneath the seat. So I'm going to do that next. Now that we got the seat down, there is one other piece I forgot to mention, is this trim piece that goes across the back of the Bronco. This side panel kind of tucks into it, so you're going to want to get this pulled off. And it's just a bunch of it just snaps in, so I should be able to grab underneath here and just pull up. There you go. Yeah, it's just all the pins here, so that's done. And now it's just a matter of getting that panel pulled off, and this is going to make a lot of popping sounds. I'm hoping I don't break any of the pins. I have a tendency to do so, as you just saw earlier, and I definitely don't want to be breaking pins with this. So hop in the back of the Bronco here. Let's find some good spots to pull. Oh wait, there's another panel here too that we need to get out first. This is where if you have a soft top, it would connect here. And this needs to come out first before the main panel comes out. So I need to get, now it's gonna make it a little bit more difficult since I have the Molly panel here. I'm going to have to reach around and see how best to get this off. Get a pry tool in here. Let's see if we get this thing out. All right, success. Got it out with nothing breaking. All right, now we can focus on this big panel. Ah! Well, there, Molly panel already jammed up the thumb. Don't want to pull too hard because I'm not sure if there's any wires connected to this thing from behind. This is one big panel. Oh, there is a wire connected behind, so I'm going to want to take that off. Looks like something is harnessed to it. What is that? Easy enough to get off. What do I have left? Looking like most of it is off from this side. It's going to be near the passenger well. Just take you around. So the remainder is, all of this is that panel as well. In order to get this, I gotta get this bottom one off. Get my pry tool. All right. Nothing broke, so that's good. And you can see the channel here where we'll be attempting to run the solar cable through. But now this should all come off. All right. It looks like there's one more. There's a transition panel here on the back behind the seat. It looks like that needs to come off next so I can get more movement here on this rear panel. So let's get working on that. So the panel we need to get off is this one here. It runs the length of the Bronco. Let's see if we get on here. Go. All right, that should open up now. Go get this panel off. One more right around here. There's one more. There we go. All right. So this side panel is off. You can see, if you ever want to see what's behind the Bronco, the panel, got a couple modules here, it looks like. But yep. So this was our goal, to get this out so we can drill a hole in it and get the charge controller through it. All right, after a lot of measuring, what I did is, if you look at the back here, the back of the panel, this is kind of the part here that has that little pocket where you can put stuff, and it goes to here. So what I did was, I kind of, on the back side here, made a dot for the circumference of this connector. I drilled a tiny 1/16 pilot hole here just to see where it came out on the other end. And oh, sorry about that. And came out pretty much a little bit lower than I was expecting, but right about here, which should still be fine. So now I'm going to drill it with the 7/8 and then insert, drive, pull through the connector here, and then start running the wire back to the front. So let me get 7/8 bit. This is where it becomes a little bit more permanent. So at this point, you got to be comfortable with the fact that you're going to be drilling into your trim panel, and comfortable where everything's going to line up. This is what's best for me. You could move it maybe more towards the center here, but on the back side, there is some noise deadening foam here on that, along that panel. So I think I'm going to avoid that, but you could drill right through that if need be. But I'm kind of happy with where this came out, kind of out of the way, yet still can connect my solar connector to it and power items in the trunk. So let's get a drilling. Clean it up a little bit. All right. So now they got this drilled through. Clean it up a little bit more. Eventually find the piece that came out. But now I'm going to start running my cable through it. So first thing you're going to do is make sure you do not have a fuse in here, and keep this cap open so that you can kind of feed it through. 7/8 is like, I think, just large enough to get everything through. All right, that's perfect. And now I'm just going to put in the 4 screws that it came with, so that it's set in place. Go get the screws. Got the 4 Phillips screws. Let's get this set up. I want it such like that, so that the negative terminal is on the bottom. I'm going to try to do this. Yeah, apply some pressure to it, and there isn't much. There we go. It's starting to take. Again, prefer to use hand tools on stuff like this because I don't want to strip it. It's just plastic. There you go. So now connector is all screwed in, and now you see from the back side, came through right where kind of where we wanted it. I'm going to put the 15 amp fuse now into actually, let me run it along the channel here a little bit, because I can actually put this piece back now, and then start running the cable, and then pull off the trim pieces around the footwells of the passenger in the front driver. So let's get working on that. Now that the wire is run back behind the panel, I can start getting this main panel back in, and then running the wires. So it's just a matter of getting this all these holes lined up. There's a lot of these push pin rivets that you need to get in there. So, and there's some guiding. There we go. So just start from the back, work your way forward. Oops, what happened here? That looks like one popped out. Get this back in. There you go. Oh, there's one here that needs to get lined up. Get some light. Feels like there's one right around here somewhere. There we go. Let's take a look. And the one thing I didn't show earlier is that just make sure you reconnect that wire that's behind this panel. So I did reconnect that wire. All right, those are all connected. Now I just need to connect it in the passenger compartment. Now we're at the passenger compartment, and we need to get these now locked in as well. And you want to kind of get this plastic trim over the metal lip that's here. I probably need my pry tool for that. So I'm going to start from the top here and bring this over. There you go. All right. So now that's all connected, just need to cycle back into the rear of the cargo area, put that little plastic trim piece around the roll bar and the cover where the soft top mount is. So I have the little plastic trim piece. This has to kind of snake its way back around and behind the roll bar, and it has a little tab here to catch in and then lock it down. So it took a little finagling and some choice words, but this piece is finally in and snapped in. You just got to go down and around and under and push in, and fingers on each end, and it's not pleasant, but it's in. And now I'll get this trim piece in here. There you go. Yeah, that looks good. And now we'll get the back trim piece here and the floor plan in, and we'll tidy up this back and then continue running the line forward. So I have the back trim piece now, and these are just, you just go into, there's a guide pin in the center. There you go. It is in. Let's get the cargo in next. Make sure this is flush. I am not going to bolt it down yet. I just want to get this in here so steady platform if I need to sit back here. But I think this area is complete, and now we'll continue running the wire forward. So now we're in the front, and same deal as the back. We need to get this trim piece off. I'm going to try to do it without the... There we go. Just lift it straight up. All right, so there is another trim piece here. I'm going to see if I can just run the snake through from here to this to the rear section so that I don't have to take off every single piece of trim and just run it through utilizing the snake. Should be enough. I'm just going to run it in the channel and hope for the best. Feels like I'm hitting something there, so let me try the intersection here. Seems like it's easier flowing. That feels like I'm through. Let me bring you to the back seat. And lo and behold, here it is right here. So the extension piece that I got, I think it's 10 feet. It does have a SAE connection on the other end. I don't need this because this is going to be connecting into the controller. So I'm going to cut this, and that also make it easier to feed without having to feed this chunk of connector here. So I'm going to cut this off. And now I'm going to get some electrical tape, attach it to the snake here, and then pull it through. All right, now that it's attached to the other end and taped, I slowly pull this back. It looks like it's caught up on something. Let's see, let me try to feed it through by hand a little bit. All right. All right, then I think I just about got it. And finally, I just have to find the right path for that cable to traverse through the trim. So now pull this through. Sure doesn't get tangled up. All right, so that is all of that. And now I'll be getting this into the engine compartment. So I'll get that all set up and then I'll bring you guys back. So I managed to get the wire run underneath the trim here. I was able to do it without taking apart everything here. I basically loosened this piece. It's back together. Yeah, loosen this piece. You're saying let me loosen this and run the wire underneath and then pull it out the top. So now is going to be, if you have an automatic, it's going to be easy because you have a black rubber grommet there that you can just cut a little hole and push through. I have the manual transmission, so that grommet is actually replaced by the clutch master cylinder. I did in a previous installation put a little hole through it to run the antenna wire from my GMS radio. And I'm going to try to reutilize that hole to push this cable through. So I have my snake again. I'm going to tape the wire to it and then try to push it through into the engine compartment utilizing that same hole. I'm not going to film this because I'm just going to be basically contorted underneath the driver's seat here trying to push it through, and you're not going to really be able to see anything. So hopefully what I'll do is I'll set up the camera in the engine compartment and you can actually see it coming through the grommet. Okay, I think it went through. Well, that's not what I wanted to happen. So the snake went through, but the wire did not. Darn it. All right. All right. Oh, great. Fourth time's a charm. So here's the wire. All right. Get this separated from this wire tape. Pull some of this through. And now I can pull that tape back out. All right, theoretically, the hard part is done now. Ran the wire through the clutch master cylinder grommet. I'm going to give it some extra slack here so we have extra. And going to set the connectors on it. And then connect it to the controller. And then that should be it. We should have power, be able to run power to the back. Separate the wires. Let's see. This is a 16 gauge wire. All right. And I have these connectors that we're going to run it through. Crimp it down. That's good. And I also add a little electrical tape on there too. All right, and then do same with the negative. All crimped. A piece of electrical tape. All right, so now you see you have these the two connections that we created last time, just negative and negative, positive to positive. Click. This one's not in all the way. There you go. So I do have some extra here like I planned for. I'm going to zip tie that up, put that aside, and then let's go test it out. So I went inside, got my EcoFlow battery pack. Have the wires connected here into the outlet, and now we'll just connect it to the battery pack here and see what it does. All right, let's see. There we go. Look, we're getting some wattage in input wattage. Well, it stopped for a second, so I guess it got to 100%. Well, 98%, but looks like, yeah, see, it's bringing in some wattage until it fully charges and then it stops. So I call that a success. So yeah, hardest part was getting it run through the firewall, but other than that, I'm happy with the install. Good to go, ready for my next adventure to make sure my battery packs are fully topped off on my next adventure. I will post, thank you, I will post the link to the original video that shows the installation of the Lund Sun hood solar panel. That should be shown right now, either to the left or to the right somewhere on the screen right now. So if you want to see how it was installed, click on this link, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next adventure.